Thank you so much for tuning in to GameSpot After Dark on YouTube. This week we talk about E3 getting canceled and some Nintendo games we'd love to see get made. If you want to skip ahead for any reason, I've left timestamps below. And with that, thank you so much for watching. Hello and welcome to episode 32 of GameSpot After Dark, GameSpot's unofficial official video game podcast. Joining me this week is Callie Plaguey.
Hello.
Timur Hussein.
Hi.
And for the last time, Peter Brown.
Goodbye?
Oh, no. You hate to see it.
You hate to see
Saying
it.
goodbye. We've said you hate to see it to this news so many times.
I know.
This week, and the effect is compounding. So each time it adds to the previous.
Exponential hate.
Yeah.
So like the hate to see it level is just.
It's just off the
through
charts.
roof
This
right
is
now.
also the second time I've said it's the last time we'll see you on this podcast, but people won't see the first time.
We're recording
'cause,
this again.
Yeah, we had some
Yeah.
technical hiccups. But yeah, it is your last week at
Yes.
GameSpot.
Yeah. I'm going to a new gig. I'm going to be in the gaming industry. And I'm super excited about it. It's one of those things where it's like, when it was offered, it was like, oh, yes, but like that yes was sort of also like met with, oh, but wait, but that means I don't get to work with, my best friends anymore. And that's really what GameSpot has become for me, is my family, my best friends. I've changed so much. The site has changed a lot. The industry has changed a lot. And it's been a very fun, interesting ride.
Yeah, you've been here 8 years, 9 years?
Almost 9, if I'm exaggerating. If I'm doing that kid thing of saying, I'm 4.5 years old.
So
I'm
10 years then.
I'm 8, yeah. 8.5 years, I guess, is probably the best way to look at it. So back before, I was reviewing like, wow, 3DS has been around the entire time almost.
Whoa.
Wow.
That's a good
That's
point, huh?
impressive.
Now that I
actually.
think about it, woo. But the PS4 was not. I mean, I was here for the launch of the current generation of consoles, basically. So a couple years before that, was looking at PS3 games and stuff. And anyway, yeah, it's been a long time. Very long time. A quarter of my life.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's an
Dang,
impressive
that's-
amount of time.
Yeah.
That's one way to think about it.
Certainly.
And that's a really long time for this industry too. Like you've been doing this so long, and I think everybody here has a lot of respect for your knowledge and for how much that experience brings. And I think we're gonna really miss that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry for being so assertive all the time and making you think that I'm smart.
I think you are smart.
Yeah,
And I think the fact that smarts is couched in like goofiness is like
that's
the best
beautiful.
part of it. It's like it makes it the smart moments, which are frequent, feel even more like profound.
Yeah, it's like on cooking shows when they're like, the sweetness is just tempered by a hint of acidity. Like it's just
Like I'm caramelized onions.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You are caramelized onions.
Exactly.
That's
Nice.
exactly
or
What
like
we all strive to be.
it.
yeah.
We all strive to be.
Or like when I was drunk
Slow and
eating
low.
I can't talk. Drunk eating wheat thins the other day, and I was like, they're the perfect combination of salty and sweet. Like, it's like,
your
lost
wheat,
my
your wheat
mind.
thins.
I'm wheat thins.
That's what you are.
I've been drinking a wheat beer, but I'm not thin, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think in our first attempt at this, I said it, and I'll say it again just so people know. There's like eras that define GameSpot. Like through my period, it was like the Ryan McDonald era. Then there was like the Jeff Gerstmann era, the Greg Kasavin era, and I definitely feel like being part of the Peter Brown era has been like a weirdly special moment for me. It's like growing up, watching and reading and doing all this stuff, and then also being kind of like a fan of everyone here, and then working alongside you. It's been good, man.
I can only say thank you because I don't know who this person you're talking about is. So I appreciate your
It's
kindness.
the man in the mirror.
Yeah, the same
Learn to love
person
him.
who I credit for how far I've come at GameSpot. I would absolutely not be where I am at GameSpot without Peter Brown.
100%.
This isn't fair.
Yeah.
We need it though. It's
Yeah.
not just the beers we've been drinking since the first take.
No, not at all. Not since the 3 o'clock notice that we can't come to the office on Friday. I'm leaving
It's been
amid.
a wild few days.
Yeah.
The gaming industry is like anemic right now, although it's not because there's a ton of games coming out right now, but it feels like I know I'm not that self-centered, but it feels like after I gave notice, everything around me has just been like depleted of life.
What are we gonna do?
it's really surreal to be leaving now and to think that like last week is my next week, but we might not be here at all. And it kind of sucks, but I'm enthused that I'm not leaving the Bay Area, that the place I'm going has an office just down the road. So I might be able to be here once in a while and still have lunch with you guys. So I'm not so sad about, it's weird. I don't know. I guess I'm not sad as much as I am hopeful that the friendships that exist now can persist, right? Like after I leave and stuff. Because I know so much of GameSpot, like a lot of jobs, is busting your ass and then letting loose. And there's just, that's defined my time here. And you get to know people on levels like you wouldn't, because you see them at their best and at their worst. And you sort of learn to trust each other in both of those moments. And I know I certainly need a lot of that runway to, to get my stuff done. Like I rub a lot of people certain ways.
Oh, what a sentence. Well, I mean, like,
it's the episode title.
You see people like, we just like ship this incredible piece of content and then like head in your hands, like, I can't play this game anymore. I can't do it anymore.
I think that's the thing that most people who like read and consume out the stuff that we make don't understand, like how personal it is, that creation process. Everything from a news story, like to a review, to a major feature, to a video, it's like deeply, deeply personal. And the fact that you have this group of people that you trust to look at it and then tell you whether it's good and help you make it good, or tell you it's bad and tell you it shouldn't be there. Right. It's like incredibly, it is like very, very personal, and you are bearing your soul. So like the reason I mention that is because having a group of people who you are willing to do that with, it's rare. And it's like it's that same kind of like trust you put in family, and like,
Yeah, I mean, I credit every single thing that I've learned or gained here to the people I've worked with who gave me that knowledge to begin with. Like I didn't come in here like just waiting to blossom, like I was watered by everyone. What the hell am I saying?
You rub people a certain way and then you get watered.
It's everyone here has given me something, and it's just been a real privilege the whole time. And in a way, I think, my exit is a really good opportunity for things to evolve here. Not that I think I'm holding anyone back, but I don't know. Like change is good, right? Like change can have a positive side to it. So yeah, we're still going to be friends. We're still going to hang out. I'll still be on Twitter.
Doesn't even know it's called.
I know.
Twitter bro.
Okay, boomer.
Twitter bro. That's what the title of the episode is.
I'm still going to be talking about CRTs. I'm still going to play new video games and maybe once in a while say something. And most importantly, thank you anyone who's ever said anything nice to me or not. And thank you all for being my friends.
I have friends back home who regularly message me, or not regularly, whenever you appear on a podcast, and they're like, that dude is so smart. There's one particular guy, his name's FA. I
was going to say, was it your mom? But
okay. No. He's a friend that I play with, games with. What's happening today?
Like, you guys have a nice play date?
Yeah, we have. Yeah.
We rub each other a certain way.
I show him my penne, my pasta, obviously. But like every time you're on a podcast talking about like old games, he messaged me. He's like, "That dude is unbelievably smart." And I'm like, "Yep."
No, it's just because I obsess over that shit.
Ooh, what does he say about us?
He likes everyone, I guess.
Those two are a couple of dumbasses.
He likes everyone, and like the reason I mentioned that is because like everyone, that factor, that thing that you said, that we'll still be friends and that kind of business. I think that's what we're all trying to tell ourselves right now, and it speaks to how difficult this is to process. Like, trying to reflect, making sure that you're aware of the fact that that friendship is going to endure, and it's not going to be that adult thing where yeah, cool, we were co-workers and then they moved to another job and forgot about it. That can't happen here, which is good.
Yeah, I don't think it's possible. And obviously I'm going to make new friends where I go, right, and go through the same sort of things with them. They're not going to be as good as us.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are, but they suck.
What are you trying to get me to say here? I haven't even started yet. No, yeah, but seriously, it's they have a lot to live up to. We'll put it that way.
I moved to this country in part, like I have several factors I moved here for.
Yeah,
one
don't
of
make
it
me
was
feel
like,
too guilty, Tim.
One of it was like I get to work with Peter. I get to work with some of the people I like the most, Jake, Callie, everyone else out here. Like, and if you were like, all right, later, bye, I would be well upset. I'd be like, damn, I got played.
I really thought you were going to be like, some of the people I like the most look at us and then not say anything.
Yeah, that's what that's what I was expecting.
Everyone here, I love dearly. Well, almost everyone. There's a few people who can totally.
What was that?
Anyway,
I'm kidding.
we love you, Peter.
Love you all.
We do.
Dearly. We're gonna miss you. You've been amazing, and I'm sure the thing that you're going on to do will be better off to have you.
I hope I don't fuck it up.
If you do, just come back.
Yeah.
Everyone will move aside to
You are-
fit you back in.
The real deal dad.
Yeah.
I am the real deal dad. And y'all are dogs for certain.
Yeah.
Yeah, dogs for sin.
So this episode is going to be a little different than normal. We're gonna breeze over this what we've been playing section. Like I'm thinking, like say what you're doing, give one sentence. If
Partially
that-
because everything's embargoed.
partially because a lot's embargo, partially because it's crazy busy and we want to. Yeah,
E3's been
and
cancelled. It's popping off left, right, and center.
the other thing that I do need to mention is that we probably won't be here next week recording. We're still gonna have an episode, but we won't be sitting here because the coronavirus has gotten almost out of hand in San Francisco. It seems like it's certainly headed that direction.
Escalating.
Yeah.
It's escalating. So a lot of people are going to be working from home. We're still going to try to make this podcast happen, but it will be, I don't know, a little leaner than normal, I would say. But anyway, Peter, do you want to start? Give us what you've been playing, doing. One sentence. That's it.
I'm playing real life Tetris because in addition to getting a new job, I'm also moving to a new apartment.
Love it.
You loved?
You love?
No, that's a
loved
lot
to
to
love
do.
it.
Gonna
That's
say
a
it.
lot to do at once. I commend you, sir.
Tamor.
Playing Bloodborne.
All right,
Finished it.
Callie.
Good game again. That's it.
I'm playing Animal Crossing. That's all I can say.
I'm playing Call of Duty Warzone, which is something else.
But we do have one big news story.
Yeah, the reason why we wanted to cut down the conversation on what we've been playing is because we imagine the fact that E3 has been canceled this year due to the coronavirus might dominate this episode quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing to lose, Jake. I've got a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear your conspiracy.
Everyone had bad things to say about E3. Like, oh man, why don't they just cancel it? No one wants to be there. All these companies are pulling out.
They leaked all that info.
They leaked all that info.
That weird activation stuff.
And here we are now, and it's like, well, everyone's criticizing our show. Oh, there's a reason we might want to cancel it? Well, fire me, GameSpot. You can't.
I like this.
I don't know. I can't accuse the ESA, but isn't it convenient?
It is. It
is very, very convenient. Yeah.
I'm glad they're taking the precaution because I think we should be over cautious right now.
Mhm.
But still.
Well, did you see the coronavirus convention got canceled because of the coronavirus? I'm serious. This
Yes.
was an actual.
He is
This is an
serious.
actual headline on, not The Onion. I don't remember what it was,
Was
but
it
it wasn't The
Newsweek?
Onion. I don't think it was Newsweek
Oh.
either. It may have been Newsweek.
Was it funny?
Was it the Post?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That's
The
I didn't.
New
I didn't.
You
York
say funny?
Maybe it is
Times.
made up, but I saw a tweet and I thought it was very funny and I showed
Yeah.
it to Callie.
Well, coronavirus has been around for a long time. It's not like a new thing.
Yeah.
It's just the strain of it is caught.
Yeah,
Fire.
that's one of the weird things, not to be like, I'm not a doctor, but like coronavirus is a classification of viruses.
Yeah.
And so that's why you see COVID-19 being this specific strain. And then there's a
it's
separate
the
name.
27th strain.
The
or something, right?
novel coronavirus.
Yeah, meaning like just the new strain.
So
and
novel.
then there's another name for the actual disease you contract, but it's basically like pneumonia in both your lungs.
Sick.
and
is my
it's like lower. Well, pneumonia is a lower respiratory
Yeah.
thing. We're all doctors here.
Not a doctor.
Doctor Spot. Dr. Brown Spot.
My screen name on GameSpot is Doc Brown, so I mean,
true.
I wouldn't lie. I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get off my porch.
But yeah, this
Yeah.
this was weird news to me because E3 is both very stressful and very fun. I feel like my first E3 in the games industry was like I still had enough energy where I was like out every single night and like doing stuff and talking to people and like
Does that mean going to the Fig?
I was going to the Fig every night. Yeah. One time I went to Denny's. One night I went to Denny's.
Yes.
And this past E3 I was like, I'm really sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm exhausted and I'm going to go to bed. And I don't know if that's just me or if a lot of people have been feeling that way of like, oh, it used to be like work hard, party harder at E3, and then like lately it was just like work hard, watch like Family Guy reruns in your hotel room because there's nothing else to watch.
I think the work hard part of it became more elaborate and like way more. You'd think like, oh yeah, back in the day when, you know, video streaming was nascent, it would be really difficult, and yeah, it probably was. But these days, the productions are so elaborate, and like the energy required to do it is so much that I think even if you're doing the same amount of work and partying as before, like the work part of it really hits you hard. Like I was the same. Like I'm boring in that I don't like partying anyway. But like I remember my first E3, I was like, how are people going out? Like, I was exhausted, and everyone was like, yeah, let's go and hang out in Murder Alley.
So that's the difference. We had Murder Alley. Murder Alley being the parking lot hangout zone behind the, was it a Marriott?
USC Radisson.
The USC Radisson. Oh my God. That, whew. Yeah. I mean, we used to just have in our backyard a party zone. Tables, chairs, well lit at night. Cats, you could just feed barbecue and laugh at it as a group.
We'd bring lots of Tecate, and then eventually people would get mad at us for being out there too late.
The cops showed up a couple times. I lost a shirt out there for sure that I still am upset about.
I never got to experience Murder Alley during my time at GameSpot, and it really bums me out. The last Murder Alley was right before I joined.
I saw it once, and my prevailing memory is Jason Ostraker from Giant Bomb. First time I've ever spoken to him, just outright challenged me to a Street Fighter match in his hotel room. And I was like, I kind of want to play Street Fighter, but at the same time, I don't really know. I know you, but I don't really know you. I'm just going to say no, just in case. I was like, either I'm going in there and he's whooping my ass, or like, it's just going to get weird. Where I'm just like, oh, I'm actually into someone else's hotel room. I don't really know who they are.
Yeah.
But now I see him walking around, I'm like, fuck, I should have just done it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really can't tell if it's I'm older and more tired, or if it's the nature of E3 changes, the nature of the work changes. Maybe it's a combination of everything. But
things have gotten way more intense on the average day in this industry. And if that's one thing I can talk about, it's the evolution of, it's like what you're saying for E3, but really it is every day here.
Yeah.
Like the idea that video is obviously so important, the idea that one person has to be able to do all these different things. I mean, it's necessary now for sure.
Yeah.
The amount that we do in a day, even from
the variety, right?
Yeah, the variety. Like today I cut a script, edited a review, shot a video.
Doing a podcast.
I'm doing a podcast. Like, that's a lot to do in one day, and that is not like yes, it is a busy day, but that's not like an abnormally busy.
No, this is an average day, and you get that leading all the way up to E3, where you're supposed to sleep in hotels, interface with people on like 10 times the amount of normal. It's great, and it's not.
Yeah. To be clear, we're not moaning about this, because like I remember I've heard this conversation before, and I remember being on the other side, being like, damn, I wish I could do that. So to that person who's there and is like me being like, I don't understand what they're complaining about. We're not complaining.
Yeah, I mean, it's just being transparent.
It's like, just very intense, and it is draining.
Well, like,
we love every moment of it. It's just a lot.
It is a lot. And like at E3 last year, like a lot of us hosted things on top of doing, like for us, editorial work, video editing, production. Like we're also getting in front of the camera, and that is a whole other state of mind. It's a whole other kind of energy. Like it is like when you're combining types of work like that, you're switching. It's like
it's hard to get into like a rhythm.
Yeah. And it's cool. It's awesome to feel that accomplished. Like 2 E3s ago when I got to interview, oh my God,
Pete Hines.
I was gonna say, I was like, not Phil Spencer. Why is my brain doing this right now?
That energy.
I'm literally talking about, I'm literally talking about a highlight. I can't remember Pete Hines' name right now. Anyway, I felt so accomplished. I was really proud of that interview. And then I went and I turned that interview into news stories, like right after I shot it. And I was like, wow, that was like such a cool thing that I did, combining skills that I have. Like E3 gives you that opportunity, unlike any other show, at least in America. Obviously because Gamescom is very large, but
and smelly.
Yes,
it's Gamescom.
But
lose a shirt.
It's like,
Mind.
it's like I'm disappointed because I won't have that, but I'm also like kind of relieved because I'm already tired and it's March. You know?
I am bummed for sure.
Yeah.
Very
E3
much
is
so.
definitely my favorite part of the year. It used to be always like as a kid and stuff like that was because of the games. Now, I mean, still the games are obviously great, but always like having the other international offices come, seeing other people in the industry, and just seeing everyone like get so excited about
New shit.
announcements and all that kind of stuff is always just so much fun. I will say one thing that took kind of took the sting out of the announcement though was last year when they leaked a bunch of contact information for people who went, and I think at that moment I was just like, I was like, I don't know if I feel comfortable coming to this show, registering for this show if they don't take privacy that seriously.
And then it happened again.
And then it happened again. Yes.
Same company.
I do want to say, we should probably phrase it like the information was not secure and it was leaked rather than they leaked it.
Yeah.
Like they didn't intentionally.
Yeah.
That's not trying to correct you. It's just for like
For clarity.
covering our bases.
It was essentially like if you had a link, you could access all of this
It was
stuff.
very easy to
And it
acquire
was-
the information.
We were very fortunate in that, but a lot of people we know were not, and that is definitely a concern.
Yeah, because we were exhibitors, not
Yeah.
media, and that was the difference.
I think the general sentiment for people, like especially that work here, is like we loved E3. As Pine would say, you know the vibes. They are
You know the vibes.
fun. It was like a great time to come together and like celebrate gaming, get excited about it, see friends that are from other parts of the same company, other companies,
Other planets.
Other planets. See virtual friends like Mario and
And Hatsune
Luigi
Miku.
and Miku and Gears of War Chunky Man,
and DJ Funbags. if
DJ
anyone remembers
Funbag,
DJ
Parappa the
Funbags.
Rapper, Diglett, the El Tetris block.
You
Those
love to dig
guys.
it.
Yeah. But at the same time, like
Taro?
Yoko Taro,
Yeah. I was listening-
Yoshinori Tomono, whatever his name is.
E3 has been through like weird swings in the past. Like there was one time where it was held in Atlanta in the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know, there was one time where it was held in like an airplane hangar in Santa Monica, I want to say. So this isn't the first time the show's been disrupted. It's going to come back. It's too big to not exist. The industry, we're all here. Yeah, we complain about it a little bit, but we ultimately love it. The industry also needs it in a way. There is no other event that brings everyone together with that. Like GDC is close to it, that industry mentality, but it's not quite the same. It's not
very
the same
different.
stage, right?
And I've seen a lot of tweets from people talking about like this is hard on smaller developers because a lot of people rely on those face-to-face contacts to get word out about their game or to just make a friend, an ally in the industry.
Convince a drunk person to give you money.
Yeah. Or if you were like me, going to E3 2013, I don't even know how I got in, to be honest with you. I didn't work in the industry yet. I was still in college. And I remember running into someone from IGN because I did some freelance by that time, or I had been in the office by that time for something. And he was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like,
what are you doing here?
but like
Looking for the bathroom?
But like me just physically being there, I feel like that helped me somehow, and I got very lucky in that way. I obviously there's a lot that can be done remotely in our line of work, but there are some things that are hard to replace with face-to-face human contact.
Yeah, it's an event. A lot comes out of it, and this year we don't get to experience that.
Yeah, well, that is one thing that I imagine we're still going to see, right? Is press conferences, big announcements. It'll just be, I imagine, on a different timeline. Because I can't imagine, Microsoft's probably already planning something. They've been planning something. I imagine,
Right. Yeah.
maybe they won't have the same stage. Maybe they'll choose a different date. But I imagine there's going to be a day. What do they do? The EXO.
Well, they've said they're doing a digital
They're
thing.
doing a
they
digital
have
thing.
confirmed that. Okay, yeah.
A bunch
So-
of Ubisoft has said they're doing something. They're looking at their options. Nintendo. I mean, like Nintendo does direct. It's weird because at the same time as us saying like, oh, it will come back, we're also like we've never been as equipped in terms of technology and the audience being primed for an entirely digital show. Like between Nintendo Directs and streaming and that kind of stuff, all the platforms. It could I hope it does come back, but it could very easily not come back.
I mean, let's imagine an E3, right, without like executives on stage and fake people in the audience screaming at their
That's-
mundane BS.
I want
right?
that.
You want
I
that?
need that.
Oh,
That's where all the fun is. That's where all the that's where all the Twitter
the
material
twisted
comes
fun.
from.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what you need. You need the
Twitter
Bethesda,
E3 is
the
valuable.
front row of Bethesda
That's how you
employees
get
just
your
screaming.
breathtaking.
Yeah. That's how you get your breathtaking.
Fair.
You get Todd Howard's jacket. You get so many amazing moments.
My
I take it all
body's
back.
ready
I take it
even.
back. Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Caffeine, Aisha Tyler,
Hoop God.
Hoop God.
Oh God. Can we talk about how Reggie also works now for GameStop?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we should talk about that. You're right.
He earns $140,000 a year just to give them advice.
I could do that.
I hope his advice is always that you know that gif of him where he's like,
His advice should just be Nintendo.
yeah, every time they come to him, Reggie, what do you think? He just goes,
Excuse me, while I play Animal. What does he say?
Well, yeah, I was literally about to mention that gift, the one that was like, I can't talk right now. I have to go play Animal Crossing on my Nintendo 3DS or something like that. I'm like, yeah.
but
that's
Reggie, our stores are closing. I can't talk right now.
That's probably not the exact quote, but that's the
Yeah.
gist.
So well done to Reggie, unlucky E3.
Yeah.
But before we do move on from E3, I just wanted to like go around the room, favorite E3 memories, announcements, whatever it might be. There's a few that come to mind for me. I think
I'd love to see how much spit that guy who was on the flute generated at the PlayStation conference. Can you imagine it? It's got to be buckets.
That's the first thing you thought of?
Every time I think of E3, I just think of flute guy just going absolutely ham on that flute. Just the amount of saliva it must have been generated there. Yeah.
All right, Jake, what's yours?
I mean, a couple. The first one that comes to mind though is I remember when they announced the Final Fantasy VII remake. It was my first E3, and like the war room just went absolutely nuts.
No anime.
I know, no anime. I say it all the time, but like I didn't really care because I'm like I never played the first one. I wasn't waiting for this like so many other people. But it was just hard not to catch that energy just because people were yelling and screaming and freaking out. And now here we are 5 years later and the game is about to come out.
Damn. Callie?
This was, oh gosh, what was it called? It was when Nintendo hosted like those competitions that they played live. And I was
Nintendo World Championship.
Yes, and I remember being in the IGN War Room and watching the Super Mario Maker stuff, and everyone was like really into it. It was a lot of fun, and I don't know, it was a very positive experience. Just like everybody being really into watching and like treating it like a sport. And I was like, oh, I understand sports, and I had a lot of fun with that. And I guess the Fig. If you can call those memories, am I right? Just kidding. Drink responsibly. And
I'll drink to that.
One time, the IGN Australia team was in a pre-Airbnb on Skid Row, and
A flop house.
basically, and I ended up there somehow. That was really fun.
I think mine, like, it's a shame it's wildly problematic now, but I just remember leaving the war room and just stepping out and just Kanye West just dead-eyed looking at me like, I was like, oh, Kanye West is here. Remember that? And then everyone was like, immediately the messages to parents like, Kanye West is literally standing outside. And this was like, I think off the back of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So it was like pre-Kanye's like, downfall, yeah. So like pre-cancellation.
No, it was Yeezus.
Was it Yeezus?
It had to have been Yeezus.
Maybe it was Yeezus. Yeah, it was still pre like he's lost his mind.
Because that was like
business.
right before I.
Sorry, I'm just really enjoying the Kanye discourse between you two.
Oh, it's sad, but yeah. So like, go on.
Really quickly, I forgot. Remember when all the zombies were walking around? What year was that? Last year or the year before?
This was 2 years ago. That was annoying.
So there were a bunch of people dressed as zombies. But I went to the women's restroom, and I saw some like zombie feet under the stall, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck, dude?"
Hey, what do zombie farts smell like?
You know, I was too
Like
afraid.
death.
Like Starbucks microwave sandwiches? Yeah.
Yeah, I was too afraid to really get a whiff in there. But yeah, I was like, "That's not. I don't like that. I don't like that. I can see your zombie feet."
Stop.
It was just me and her in there too, and it was like a 30 stall bathroom. because
Zombies
there's
gotta go
no
to the
women
bathroom.
anywhere in this industry in the bathrooms. There's only like 2 of us in there at once
She was
at
like, I'm
any
gonna
given
take
time.
the one next to the occupied one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Kanye West was one, and then probably the other one is, I think, just doing interviews. Like, I like doing interviews a lot.
That's where I'm going with mine.
I really like talking to developers. I'll let you say it, but like, I think we're aligned on this. Like,
Well, especially the one day that I remember, if I'm not combining memories by accident, it was really early. I think it might have been my first E3. And it was like in the same day I was interviewing a pre-Mighty Number 9 Keiji Inafune, Hideo Kojima, and also talking to David Cox and Mercury Steam about Castlevania Lords of Shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to like new Castlevania game, the guy who I associated with Mega Man, and Hideo Kojima. And I remember like going to that Kojima interview with Kevin Van Ord and feeling like so out of my league, but also like I need to say something. I need to ask questions. I need to not just sit here and be a loaf. And Inafune, like, it's crazy how much he's fallen, how far he's fallen. But at the time, to me, he was like an icon.
You hate to see it.
And then, yeah.
you hate to see it.
And then, I don't know, Lords of Shadow, Castlevania is weird, but Castlevania means a lot.
That
to me.
first one's great.
But that was like all that one day. Like it was just, I felt like that was what made that E3 like that watershed moment for me. Like, I'm here. Wash over me. I mean, this is it.
Yeah, there's something about the simplicity of interviews that I really love. It being amongst the chaos of everything that happens in E3.
It's enlightening because it cut. I immediately lose that false image of who I think these people are.
Yeah.
Even if they don't give you anything of material value, it's still like, oh, they occupy the same space I do. They breathe the same air. They're just people. And it humanizes like video games in a way, right?
I remember like, I think this was last year. Was it the Todd Howard interview where me and you did?
2 years ago, right?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, I got off the plane, like I've landed, got off the plane and drove from the airport straight to the Todd Howard interview. And if you go back and watch it, like, I'm just like tripping and like I look a mess.
The plane from London, not San Francisco.
I think it was San Francisco.
It was
Was
San
it?
Francisco,
I think it
'cause-
was San Francisco.
Oh,
yeah.
man, I was trying to make your story more impactful.
But it was
I'm sorry.
like London to San Francisco, then San Francisco to LA. So it was like I was still jet lagged.
Yeah, sure.
And
Yeah,
like,
because I
came
think
in.
you had to like cover a Nintendo Direct or something like that.
Yeah. And then like quickly grabbed Jake. We met up and then went into that interview. And I remember thinking, thank God this is an interview. Like, because if it was like be on stage and, talk about a game or like, something like that or pre or post show, I would have fallen asleep or pooped myself or something.
Being a host is tough.
Yeah.
Hosting those live segments,
It's hard.
very tough if you're not interviewing someone.
I've
Yeah.
done like a couple. Like I don't think I've been on longer than an hour, and it's so draining.
Hats off
It
to
is so
everyone who
draining.
does it, man.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
even just like the process of getting your makeup on before that is draining. And then the whole time I'm up there, I'm like thinking about like my lipstick is definitely on my teeth because I never wear lipstick. And like just like stupid things like that, but it all adds up.
In your head, your lipstick's like up here.
I know, I'm just
One
like,
of your
"Ah."
eyes is on your chin for
Well, I
some reason.
never
You
wear
want
it.
I know
have
how
no
I got
idea.
these scars.
I will totally, right? I did. The interview thing reminded me of my actual favorite E3 memory, which is when I got to meet Miyamoto. I literally forgot to mention it.
I met him at E3 once, and it was during the Star Fox Zero. It was like a demo, and they're like, "Oh, Miyamoto's going to come around and ask everyone what they think." I don't know if you know Star Fox Zero. Have you guys played that game? You have to use the motion controls of the Wii U gamepad to like steer your ship, and I had to tell Miyamoto, "I don't like this."
Well, I met Miyamoto on the day that IGN gave Breath of the Wild the Game of Show, and I was shadowing an interview, and I was like nodding along to things, and like Bill Trinan turned to me at the end of the interview, and he was like, "You know some Japanese, don't you?" And I was like, "I mean, a little bit. I don't consider myself very good at Japanese." And he was like, "I saw you nodding along." And I'm like, "I don't mean to I don't know." But I was just like, because the part at the end of the interview was like being like, "Oh, and by the way, Miyamoto-san, IGN has given Breath of the Wild our Game of Show." And I was just like, Like, couldn't believe he was
Saying
there.
that to Miyamoto, that must have been like.
I have an embarrassing E3 story.
Ooh.
So I saw, it was a couple years
Swear to
ago,
this.
I saw Bloodstained. It was the 505. They're usually in room 505 across from us. So I walked in there and I was setting up capture.
Good job to them for getting room 505.
Applause.
Yeah, shout out.
Well done.
And I was setting up and it wasn't working and I was having some issues and I like stood up to like change something and I pulled out their PC with it. I like caught the wire, pulled out the wire. The thing fell over and
I never heard about this.
I've heard about this.
Who's the creative
I've never
director?
heard
Who's
this.
the director?
Igarashi was standing
Yeah, he
right
was
there.
standing right next to me with like
with his whip. Like,
with all that stuff just watching me and I'm like, I'll put it all back. So I put it all back. I don't get the capture to work. I just pretend it's working. I'm like, it's fine. You guys are going to send us B-roll, right? And they're like, yeah, we'll send you B-roll. So then there was that and I was incredibly embarrassed and I was like, I don't ever want to have to cover that game again. Hopefully I don't have to see Igarashi again because that was terrifying. And then a couple years later, because that game was in development for a while, I went to another Bloodstained preview.
Was it like an Xbox like showcase thing?
No,
That game was there a lot.
Yeah.
It was still like, it wasn't in room 505, but it was still nearby.
502B.
Yeah, it was like
Or is
2
that
years
a-
ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And I walked in and I was setting up capture and I was like, all right, can't do anything stupid this time. Nothing stupid. And I was setting up capture and I went down to plug it into a power strip and I actually flipped the power strip off and like 4 units next to me just shut down as they were previewing. And I was like, oh my God. So I was like, luckily he wasn't there. It was just 505 PR.
Literally never heard these
Jake
stories.
actually also developed the Switch port for Bloodstained, which is why it sucked.
Oh, that's fine.
And I was like, I am so sorry. And luckily it was right at the beginning, so it didn't really like people didn't have to restart too much. But I was like, yeah, I'm never covering that game again.
They're like good.
And I've been like pretty good. I have like, I think the two biggest fuck ups I've had covering E3 or covering anything in that were those two games or that game twice. And I'm just like,
Cursed.
My one was the almost shit my pants on stage, which has been told many times. That story's been told.
That's
And the other one was like, wrote a preview for a first-person shooter, which I won't name. And I was like, this is just boring, man. And then like, remember being told, it was my first E3. And then remember being told, if you're gonna slag off one of the major first-person shooters in the industry, just give us a heads up so we can prepare ourselves. So wasn't anyone saying like don't do it. It was just like, yeah, we got some like people talking to us about this, and it would have been good if we knew it was coming. I was like, ugh,
I think I know what you're talking about.
yeah. And I was proved right because later that year, that game did not get great scores.
I think an E3 memory that I've forgotten about, maybe for good reason, is after a vigorous night in Murder Alley, year one.
Pete lost his shirt.
The next day, I was incredibly hungover and going to appointments. And I think my third appointment was for Dishonored, the first one.
What game?
And I'm still just uneasy. And someone else is playing, someone else from GameSpot, and I'm watching over their shoulder. And because it's like a first-person game, it's like fast-moving, and they're controlling the camera, not me. I just get this sense of like, okay, I have to throw up. Oh my God, I want to throw up. And so I said, I have to go. I ran out to the bathroom. There's like, an E3 bathroom, there's like 12 stalls, this, that, all of them full. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I look at the urinals and I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to throw up in a urinal. So I looked in the mirror and I said, you got this. And I like stood there and like stealed the vomit down. And then I left and I was like, okay, I'm already out of this appointment. I'm not expected to be in the war room right away. It's like, I'm going to go out to the production van and see what they're doing and maybe I can take a nap. I went out to the production van and I took a nap for 90 minutes in the middle of day 2 of E3. Nobody noticed. I came back to the war room like, I'm in trouble. No one said a thing. No one knew. But now you know.
That's sick.
It's pretty good.
That's badass.
I survived.
I think I've heard part of that story.
I
There's
know
more,
someone
there's
that-
more to it actually, but
I know someone that took a nap during E3 while I was here, and everyone noticed because that person was essential. And I was like, you shouldn't be napping.
which one?
We'll talk later.
Well, anyway, there is a question that someone wrote in about E3. So we'll get back to it, but we're going to move on to listener questions. Oh, wait.
Before we move on,
All right.
did you see the identity of who was controlling the Ham Duet account was revealed?
It was
No.
Yes.
Wait,
So
do you
there's
know?
do you not know who it is?
You don't know who it is?
So there's a
I have a pretty
someone's
good
told me and I
idea.
forgot, and they wouldn't tell me again.
There's a Twitter account called Ham Duet, which is a food that is,
We get catered lunch. It's boxed lunches. It's crap, and there's one of them
and
called
it's
Ham
known
Duet.
it's known for
It
being
has 2
slimy
pieces
and
of
gross.
ham.
And there's a
Yes.
Twitter account about that Ham Duet, basically just antagonizing
tweet, like,
us.
I'm coming.
I'm coming at you. I'm slimy. I'm gonna
Like,
get in
20
here.
days until E3.
So the person who controls that account revealed who they were today. Who do you think it is?
So if I remember correctly, I want to
Regina?
say,
I
because
think.
initially it was like, it's got to be Sean McInnes or Chris Waters or Giancarlo Veronini or Tyler Weingartner. And I think Tyler Weingartner is where I'm landing now.
Okay.
But I assume
not
not.
for Tyler.
I
Who do
assume
you
Who
think
not.
do you think it is?
Do you know?
I think I might know.
Alright,
So
I'm just
not
gonna tell
say.
Peter who it is. It is Eddie McCoo.
Wow! Okay, that was not who I thought it was.
Who did you think it was?
I thought it was.
Eddie McCoo being a longtime news writer.
He's been around GameSpot longer than I
for
have.
GameSpot, currently working
And-
at the Australia office. The idea was given to him, as he recounted today, by Brendan Sinclair, former
Sure. Who's at
okay.
VG Biz.
yeah, and like former editor here. But he's been maintaining that account since.
Eddie
Yep.
McCoo.
It was Eddie McCoo.
It's just you
dude.
never expect it from him.
Well, Eddie McCoo's evolved over the years.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
The thing about
He's got
Eddie
long
is,
hair now.
yeah, he's very, like, when you message him, he's very proper. He responds in full sentences.
He's from Connecticut. He knows what's up.
Yeah. But
Like- yeah.
but Jake's seen the Australia drinking out of a shoe Eddie, so
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen him do that.
what's it called? A footy? What is it called? A shoey? It's called a shoey.
Well, I
Don't
shotgunned
Google
a
Chewy.
lot of beers with Eddie McCoo.
I mean,
No, but that's the thing in Australia. That's literally, I swear to
that's what
God,
it's called?
a shoey
Yeah.
is drinking beer out of a shoe.
in person, Eddie is like a different person.
Yeah.
Like he's like,
And he, oh my God,
mischievous
he got
to
like
a-
the
to a-
coolest wardrobe overnight. Like he left and then he came back and he was wearing really cool clothes.
I
We were
heard
like,
he just robbed Edmund Tran. That's the
and I was like, wow, did you
true.
like
I
watch a
love
bunch of Queer Eye?
Love you,
Damn,
Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah.
shout out to Eddie
We
for
love Eddie.
maintaining the Ham Duet account.
and for maintaining a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, if you go and follow the Ham Duet account, like he said, like it might be time to close this, but you never know. Give it some love, and it might just reappear. Yeah, Karen. Sorry to interrupt you. What were you about to say there?
What's our question?
I was going to say, we're moving on to listener questions.
Yeah.
The last question is about E3, so we'll get back to it. And I think that last question was sent in before E3 was officially
Do we have
canceled.
time for more than one though?
So.
I don't know.
What time is it?
It's already. I think we just got to do one.
5:36.
Okay, why don't we do the first and last one then? Because I think the first one should be pretty quick. It's a
Okay.
long question, but should be a quick one because hopefully people can just rattle off ideas. Anyway, I'll read it. Hey all, one of the best / most surprising things about the Switch has been Nintendo letting people have some fun with their iconic franchises. With Cadence of Hyrule being very well received, one would hope they might try something like that again. So what small indie developer would you like to see get a chance to make a Nintendo game? Personally, I think the Dead Cells team is full of wonderful ideas, and while having them make a Metroid might be an obvious call, I'd really like to see them make a Kid Icarus game that looks like the original, but with the fast and slick movement that Dead Cells excels at. I bet you guys have some characters and franchises on your own personal wish list too. Thanks for making this wonderful show for us every week. Nick from Iowa City.
Oh, thanks, Nick.
So I had a couple. I didn't think of actually a developer, I guess, but
I've got
F-Zero.
the answer. Go on.
Someone should make. They should get an indie developer to make some like sick F-Zero game because like it's clear that Nintendo isn't super interested in making an F-Zero game anytime soon. But I think there are some people that would put a lot of love.
Are
into
there
that.
any indie racing game devs out there? I don't know much.
lot
I don't
of
have my
Onyx.
finger on the pulse.
A lot of the indie racing games I've seen are like they're trying to make the arcade racer again, the low
Right.
poly, like high chroma, like thing.
That has a lower cost
Yeah.
threshold too. I'm really not good at these questions. There is a reason I got into editing things, and it's because I'm not very good at creating them. So, Tam, what is your answer?
Toby Fox makes a new Mother game.
Oh, that's obvious. Yeah.
Or I think the team that has most comprehensively proved that they could take a Nintendo franchise, understand the spirit of it, and make something new is Yacht Club Games. They've just been making NES games. So like the Shovel Knight team, give them Wario, give them a new Mario game. I bet you they'd be amazing.
Give them Waluigi.
Let Yacht Club Games make a Waluigi platformer.
Toby Fox making a Mother game is also
Tell the
that's
CEO,
just like a no-brainer.
Tell the CEO of GameStop that we need Yacht Club Games. Reggie Fils-Aimé, get him. But yeah.
I want Arc System Works to make Capcom vs. SNK3.
Oh my lord.
Give them everyone else's properties and see what they can do with it.
That would be incredible. What do you even think of that?
What would that be? Wild.
Nitsuma is no longer there, so I was holding out hope that he was secretly making it. Okay.
I just don't know.
What about Stardew Valley devs making like Animal Crossing or something?
I was thinking about Concerned Ape doing something, but I already have Stardew Valley and I have Animal Crossing, so it's like I don't need because Stardew Valley is just oh my god, that is oh.
Is there anyone that you can think of that can make a new Advance Wars?
Well, we had that one last year, Tiny Metal. Did you play it?
No. Was it good?
It was pretty good. Yeah, like what you're looking for, it's got it.
There you go then.
You know what would be cool? This has nothing to do with Nintendo, but I would really love a spin-off game of the Cabaret Club mini games in the Yakuza games.
Good idea. That's a solid idea.
I want that on my Switch. I just want to manage a Cabaret Club.
Same.
Concerned Ape could make that work for sure.
I would just like Yasumi Matsuno to make Final Fantasy Tactics 2, which was actually in development, and some screenshots were showed off like 2 years ago, and he was like, but that's never happening.
That's the saddest I've ever seen Peter.
Anyway.
Okay, should we move on to the last question? Mm-hmm. It's faded for some reason. Do you want to read it, Callie?
Sure.
Yeah, same.
Hello to the GSAD crew. First, I want to say that
GSAD?
Yeah, that's the
GameSpot
acronym.
After
That is
Dark.
so accurate.
The GSAD crew. First, I wanted to say that I enjoy the Hadouken episode of Remember When. Great work on the show there, Mr. Cut Isvina. Because he was talking last week about how British people call him Cut. Second, it appears I have stumbled upon another fine podcast from GameSpot called You Should Be Watching. It is also pretty enjoyable so far. Now that the After Dark podcast is big time, it's generous. We're middle time.
Huge.
How about a plug for You Should Be Watching so that others can discover it as well? That is a great idea.
There it is.
We have it, don't we?
That is it. That was the plug. We were going to mention it at the end, but there the plug is.
There's the plug. You did our work for us.
You should be watching from the Universe.
From our Universe team. And lastly, speaking of E3, assuming everyone on the show this week has attended the event, what is the one thing you always wanted to do at E3 that you never could due to the work schedule or other circumstances? Keep up the great work, guys. Gray Fox. P.S. Okay, now you can take a pee break.
All right.
You're that ninja.
I'm just kidding. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is I've never been to a press conference, and I figured that would be a big part of the job is like, oh, you're covering E3. You got to go to all the press conferences and you got to like take notes while you're there. Never been to one. I had the opportunity to go to a Microsoft one, but it just felt weird to just like leave while everyone else is working like really hard in the war room to just be like, okay, well, I'm going to go to this Microsoft press conference. So I haven't done that. That would be a cool thing to do one of these days.
It's not happening. E3's cancelled, man.
Yeah.
I really wish I could have met Iwata. I don't know what it was, but I was so consumed by sadness when he passed away. And I remember my first E3 thinking like, what if I street past Miyamoto? What if I street past Reggie? And that was like such a goal of mine, was to street past like big time people. Which is like such like that sounds like the antiquated sentence now, but I was like, New Leaf had just come out and I was trying to get people's houses in my Happy Home showcase. And yeah, so like there's people I want to meet, I guess.
Funny story based off that. I did see Iwata once, and it's basically the thing that you want to happen happened to me. So like I walked and I was opening my 3DS to see who I'd got, and Iwata was there, and then I looked and I could see him in the distance, and I was like, oh. I mean, that could very well have been just a different Japanese man with the same stature in a suit, but like I was sure it was him, and I was like, damn, I still have that 3DS with him and Miyamoto on it. One E3, I got both of them. Like I clearly walked past Miyamoto and didn't notice, but I noticed someone that looked like Iwata.
Street Pass was
So
such like
jealous.
a brilliant
Such an
thing. I'm
amazing
surprised
idea.
it's not
So
on
jealous.
Switch.
Yeah.
Something similar.
Yeah.
And Kurt was in the bathroom with Jack Black. Really jealous I can't be in the bathroom with Jack Black. So, you know, he's an icon to me.
He actually sings tribute while he pees, which is real weird.
Yeah. I guess mine is like there's just people I wish I could meet, which is really like there is a very short list. I am not the kind of person who gets starstruck, but I don't do a lot of interviews. I would say I'm like pretty green with interviews, I guess. Not green, I don't feel like I'm funny and creative with interviews like you are. Like you're so good.
You open the interview with, who do you think you are?
Yes. He has always encouraged this. And
Who do you think?
I have asked that question in a roundabout way to start with. Like, in your eyes.
Why do you matter?
Yeah, basically. I don't think I can't think of like what I wish I would want to do or was able to do. I think I did most of the things that I can think of wanting to do, and it's like do an interview, be on a stage, you know, it would be good if I could eat from the food trucks, you know,
Right, not
at E3.
the slot.
maybe like consider catering to people who only eat a certain kind of halal or kosher meat. That's what I'm saying.
That, of course, yes, that.
You know, that's
Yeah.
one that's easy. That's about it. I wish I could have given Cliff Blazinski a wedgie.
Don't we all?
Down in front.
I wish I could have had one more E3 with all of you.
Oh, God.
What the fuck, dude?
That's brutal. That was brutal. Anyways, there it is.
Is that it?
That's
That's
it.
the one, man.
All right. Well, this has been episode 32 of GameSpot After Dark. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be back next week. Maybe not in these exact seats, but we'll be doing something. Callie, where can people find you on Twitter? Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Before I do that, and if you have any questions for us, make sure to email afterdarkpodcast@gamespot.com. That way we can respond to them on the show.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter at Inkydojiko, INKYDOJIKKO. Please check out the competitive Pokemon series that Jake and I worked very hard on. We're very proud of it. I know it's niche. Please give it a watch. It would mean the world to me. I am sorry to be begging, but I really would love it if you watched.
It's very good.
Thank
It's very good.
Also, check back Monday for things.
Oh, I mean, you never know what could happen
On a Monday.
over a weekend.
Wild. Weekends are wild. You can find me. Actually, don't find me. Find at PC Brown on Twitter and tell him that you love him. Tell him if you read or watched anything he did and it, you know, resonated with you,
If it touched you a certain way.
touched you.
Yeah. And if you wanted to
on any
water
part
him
of
a
your
little bit.
body, internally or externally, if you want to be watered by his PC Brown PP. No, I'm gonna stop there. Yeah, but like, just show him some love because he deserves it.
You can find me on Tam's like feed on Twitter.
Go to @TamorH/likes or whatever.
Don't do that. You'll find some bad stuff.
Are we going to hear your Final Fantasy VII impressions once... do you plan on playing Final Fantasy VII?
Of course.
Because I want to hear what you think of that game.
This is such a sore spot for me. Don't bring up that he can't review it.
Yeah, that was going to be my game to review because I don't
Broke
review anything.
my heart. The morning you told me you were quitting, Jake's like, Peter's going to review Final Fantasy VII Remake, right? I was like, I'll fucking fight him if he doesn't. And then you were like, I'm leaving.
Yeah, I definitely am super curious about that game. The demo has made me more excited and more concerned. So, yeah, I want to play it more than ever. Damn. And I'll say something about it.
Right.
Thanks, everyone.
Cool.
Bye, Peter.
Bye, Peter.
Bye
See
to
y'all
Peter
next
and no
week.
one else.
Bye.
Bye, Peter.
Bye. Bye.